The Eagles and the Chiefs are going to face each other in the Super Bowl. Hey, what's up guys, Starry right here and welcome back to another NFL video. So yeah, like I said, the Eagles and the Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl. The Eagles beat the 49ers in a game that wasn't really a game because Brock Purdy got hurt very early on. And yeah, because Brock Purdy was out, they really didn't have any QB play for the rest of the game. And the Chiefs beat the Bengals in a very, very close game that came down to a field goal, and that really, if a penalty doesn't happen by Osei, then they probably don't get this field goal, and it probably goes into overtime, and then we get the new overtime rules and everything. So that would have been fun, but we got that penalty, roughing the passer, or unnecessary roughness, and then yeah, that led to the Chiefs scoring a field goal and winning the game. So yeah, let's go ahead and break down the first game that happened, and that was the Eagles versus the 49ers. Now this game, there wasn't much really going on. There wasn't that much really just hype around this game for a long time, because Brock Purdy did get hurt very, very early on, and that meant that we had Josh Johnson as QB for the 49ers. Josh Johnson, a veteran who's played on like 15 teams, but he's just a backup QB, nothing more and nothing less. That's just his role, to be a backup for the backup. And yeah, he was just pretty bad. He had a fumble that really just led to them, the Eagles, just scoring an easy touchdown and taking control of this game very early on. But yeah, even when Brock Purdy was in for the little bit of time, he didn't look that well. But I don't want to say anything more than that, because he didn't get any really time to just warm up. He got hurt very early on, and he couldn't throw the ball after that. Every time we saw him throw the ball, it was just a little kind of like a shovel pass. Like, he couldn't really throw the ball. He messed up his elbow. They were saying like he has nerve damage in his elbow or something, so he couldn't really feel his hands, I guess. And yeah, there's nothing to really say. The 49ers offense, they've just been struggling, dude. Like, it just feels like injury, especially to the quarterback. It's just so just disappointing that their season has to end like this with another QB injury. And Josh Johnson got hurt as well, so Brock Purdy had to come in, and yeah, he couldn't do anything. It was just all handoffs for the rest of the game. And yeah, that was really it for this game. For the 49ers offensively, that's all they could do, is just hand off to Christian McCaffrey. And he did make some plays. And he had a huge touchdown. But once the Eagles knew that they were just going to hand it off to McCaffrey, it was over. It was really over. All they tried to get a couple first downs and stuff, tried to extend it, but they couldn't go down the field because they became one-dimensional. And that was really the game for the 49ers offensively. That was it. And defensively for the 49ers, they played really, really good, I would say. Now, if you just look at the score, it doesn't look like they played good. But I think that the defense played really good, and I think that they limited Jalen Hurts for sure. He was 15 for 25 for 121 yards, but it was just kind of different. It didn't feel like Jalen Hurts was just as good, but we know that the 49ers defense is really good. And now towards the end of the game, it did kind of crumble. Once, everything just kind of crumbled for the 49ers. Their defense was the last to go, but they put up a fight for a majority of the game. But eventually, they just couldn't do it anymore. They just get frustrated and tired that they can't stop. Like, they have no offense, so it comes down to them to try to make a play, and they just couldn't. But yeah, I thought that the defense played really well until the end of the game. And they really limited Jalen Hurts. Gainwell came up huge for sure. Devonta Smith came up huge. It was a pretty good game. AJ Brown, I feel like he wasn't really that involved today. But that's to be expected. They're gonna take away their best options. Same with Devonta Smith. He only had 2 receptions. He had that one catch that was kind of controversial, because if they did a review, it obviously hit the ground, but they didn't, so that's what happened. And yeah, it was just kind of one of those days where everything just went wrong for the 49ers, and they had no QB, so there's not really much to say. I thought the Eagles did well. Like I said, the offense did stutter at times, and their defense played pretty good, but their defense didn't really have to do much. Their defense didn't have to do much because it became one-dimensional for the 49ers. So yeah, I don't really have much commentary for this game because it was very one-sided and one-dimensional, and the game was pretty decided early on. But congratulations to the Eagles, and I think that they're going to be a really good team to be in the Super Bowl. Like, I think it's going to be hard for the Chiefs to beat the Eagles, but we'll talk about that at another time. So now let's go ahead and talk about the Bengals versus the Chiefs. A really fun game, a back and forth game, and it was a lot of fun. It really came down to the end, a field goal to win this game. And it was a lot of fun to see this game because Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes were really having a duel. They're fighting. They're really fighting each other. It's hard to really say that because they're not like on offense and defense, but like they were battling each other for sure. Both offenses were going offense for offense. It felt like at some points of this game where like if that offense failed to get score points or anything, the other offense was coming right back and trying to put up points. It really felt like they're going offense for offense, and it really came down to the last possession. The Kansas City Chiefs, we got that penalty from Osai, I don't know how you say his name, and that really led to them winning this game, getting the game winning field goal. So yeah, I mean, that was kind of anticlimactic for sure. I would have loved to see this go into overtime and we get the overtime rules, but that didn't happen. And I was rooting for the Bengals because I did pick them. I do like Patrick Mahomes, don't get me wrong, but I just wanted to see Joe Burrow in the playoffs, and I know that's kind of crazy coming from a Steelers fan. I see it all over Twitter and stuff, but I mean, I just like Joe Burrow and I like what the Bengals were doing. I just it kind of stemmed from I really believed in the Bengals more than I believed in the Chiefs, so that's why I was rooting for them. But I mean, yeah, I like Joe Burrow and I like the Bengals and I like what they were doing. It just sucks that they weren't able to do it, and it came down to a penalty that really cost them this game. But don't get me wrong, Joe Burrow played, I thought he played really well, but those 2 interceptions for sure, set them back. And especially when Patrick Mahomes and the receiving core was just so limited, dude. The Chiefs just had, like, there was one point where they had the sideline reporter talking about all the questionable receivers, and it was more than half of the receivers. There was only like 3 actual receivers that were healthy. Everyone else was questionable, and that's just so crazy that they were able to still win this game. I mean, it just shows Marquez Valdez-Scantling came up huge, dude. He came up huge for them, scoring a touchdown as well, but just creating plays on like 3rd and 10s and stuff. He huge, really huge. Isaiah Pacheco, I was very high on him, if you remember. Yeah, he came up huge as well. I mean, Travis Kelce, he didn't have the crazy 15 catches or whatever it was last week, but he came up huge as well. And yeah, this game was very interesting as well because there was that time where Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, it was like a 3rd and 10, and they did the play, and then it was they called the play off, so they had to redo it again. So then they got the first down. That was kind of just very questionable. Zach Taylor was livid for sure. I mean, I would be too, because it was just so weird. And even then, they didn't even get the first down, or they couldn't even score anything. So I mean, it was just so weird. So many things that went wrong for the Bengals. There was also intentional grounding that was not an intentional grounding in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, just toward the end, a lot of weird stuff was going on in this game from the referees. So yeah, I thought the Bengals played really well. It just sucks that it came down to, a penalty that led to the Chiefs really getting a great field position to score a field goal. T. Higgins came up huge, Jamar Chase came up huge. They all made really good plays. It feels like the Bengals they were doing everything right in this game, it felt like, and they still couldn't win it because Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are just, that good. Patrick Mahomes with one leg, one ankle, he was playing out of his mind for sure. He was doing some nasty throws, and it's just kind of to be expected because that's Patrick Mahomes. So now it's going to be the Chiefs versus the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I wasn't expecting this matchup. I really thought it was going to be the Bengals versus the Eagles, but I'll take the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs are going to play good. I think, Patrick Mahomes is going to be better by then. Obviously, all the receivers that were questionable today will be better. I think even Travis Kelce, he was, before this game even started, he had back spasms and, all types of back problems, so I think they're going to be better. Isaiah Pacheco also got hurt, I think, in this game. I think it was close to the end, so they didn't really say. We didn't get an update on him, but Isaiah Pacheco, I think he was like questionable as well. So I think all these injuries and all these, you know, question marks for their players, their personnel will be cleared up by the time of the Super Bowl, and I'm really excited for that, you know, matchup. I think I'm still going to be leaning to the Eagles, like I said last week, but now that it's the Bengals, now that it's the Chiefs instead of the Bengals, I think it's a lot different now. I'm gonna really have to take time to really think about this game for sure, because like I said, I counted out Patrick Mahomes today, and like I said, he's like Tom Brady now. You can't count out Patrick Mahomes. He's just that good. He somehow, some way, he finds a way to win these games, and he did it again. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see that matchup. The Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, you know, a certified, you know, GOAT, you know, a Hall of Fame quarterback for sure already. And then Jalen Hurts, you know, an upcoming just rookie. I wouldn't say rookie, but, you know, still like a rookie in the NFL, still, you know, learning the NFL and everything, but really a solid player, you know, MVP quality player, you know. But it's going to be interesting to see how those two match up. And just defensively, I didn't even talk about it, but the Chiefs played amazing as well defensively. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, that matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll do a predictions video later on when that game gets a little bit more closer. But yeah, man, I'm just excited for right now. I'm excited for that matchup. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment and tell me how you felt about these conference championships, and tell me how you feel about the Super Bowl matchup, and just let me know how you feel about the playoffs in general. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.